I'm going to say good morning, everyone, again. After so many months of planning, countless hours on Zoom to get all the little details together, it's so nice to finally say, welcome to the Assyrian National Conference. My name is Alexandra Davoud, and I serve as the Director of Outreach for the Assyrian Policy Institute. I know I speak for our entire team in saying thank you so much for being here, and we're truly so delighted that you are here. We have an ambitious agenda planned for today, and we're going to do our best to run each session on time. You can find the schedule for today's events using the QR code on your badge. So this is our first in-person event for more than 2 years now, and our team has worked really hard to design an inclusive, supportive, and engaging experience for us all. This conference is designed for everyone, whether you are new to the issues being discussed or someone who is very well informed. We are excited for you to be a part of it. We want your voice, your experiences, your challenges, and your ideas. Again, thank you so much for being here. And to formally welcome you all on behalf of the API, I'd like to introduce our Vice Chair, Atour Sargon.
Thank you. Shalom alochon. Good morning, everyone. Qadam tochon brachta. It is a privilege and a great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Assyrian Policy Institute and our presenting partner, the Assyrian National Council of Illinois. We are thrilled to be able to host an in-person conference this year and just so excited to share this space with you. Thank you for being here, for bringing your energy and ideas. Most importantly, thank you for your support. The API is a community-powered organization, and we are grateful to have the support of our community in the pursuit of our shared mission. As Alex said, my name is Atour Sargon, and I am honored to serve as the Vice Chair of the API. If you'll allow me, I'd like to take a brief moment to thank my team, a group of dedicated leaders and advocates who have worked tirelessly to bring this conference to fruition. I am so proud to count myself among such a talented and selfless group of individuals. I want to quickly acknowledge each of them and ask that they stand to be recognized. First, our board member and conference chair, Stephanie Yousif from Chicago, Illinois. Next, our board members, Sargon Hanna from Boston, Massachusetts, and Ishtar Sayadi from Turlock, California. I believe Sargon is outside, but Sargon, thank you. Our executive director, Rain Hanna from Chicago, Illinois. Our director of outreach, Alexandra Davoud, also from Chicago. Our director of communications, Samantha Keikos from Toronto, Ontario. Our advocacy coordinator, Jamie Bahura from Detroit, Michigan. And I'd also like to acknowledge some of our team members who unfortunately could not be here with us today. Our chair, John Carrillo, our secretary, Alina Arbo, our board member, Raman Tahash, and our director of events, Adrana Ishu. So, thank you. Thanks. This group has put in countless hours of work to make this weekend a reality and did so with such enthusiasm and hope for what lies ahead, so thank you so much, team. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our generous sponsors, notably the ANCI, for making this event possible. Many thanks as well to our esteemed speakers for lending their names and expertise to this event, and to our volunteers who are helping us run the show. In many ways, this past year was really transformative for the API. We passed our first major piece of legislation in the National Defense Authorization Act. We helped secure 16 co-sponsors for a bill recognizing the Assyrian genocide, the highest number of U.S. representatives to have taken a stand for recognition of the Assyrian genocide. We've helped launch the Illinois Assyrian Caucus, the first ever statewide legislative caucus organized around Assyrian issues. We helped advance efforts to establish an accredited Assyrian language program for public schools in the state of Illinois. We spearheaded congressional letters on key issues affecting Assyrians, published authoritative reports on human rights violations committed against Assyrians, and so much more. The API was founded in 2018 in the aftermath of the ISIS takeover of the Nineveh Plain in Iraq and the Khabar region in Syria, when conversations were taking place across the city about the future of Assyrians in the Middle East and solutions necessary to ensure their survival. The problem was, Assyrian voices were excluded. Instead of listening to Assyrian stakeholders, our community was labeled the voiceless. That was never a label we gave to ourselves. It was never a narrative we owned. In Washington, we were being called the voiceless, but in our homeland, Assyrians were fighting to liberate their lands from ISIS. They were protesting against electoral injustice and the expropriation and theft of their lands. They were standing against anti-democratic practices, including the forced installation of unelected mayors in their towns. They were actively calling on the international community to act in a way that was just and informed. The API was created to help bring Assyrian voices and perspectives to important conversations that affect their future. We are proud to amplify the voices of Assyrians fighting to maintain their rights in their traditional homeland. We are proud to speak up for Assyrians who stand up against injustice and repression, even when no one wants to hear it. We've brought these voices to the highest levels of our government at the White House, the State Department, the Department of Defense, and Capitol Hill. For the API, there are no compromises on the full and equal rights and freedoms of Assyrians. We refuse to accept that the best our community should hope for in their ancestral lands is second-class status. We simply reject that notion. At the same time, we aren't afraid to face uncomfortable truths. The reality is there's a large gap between U.S. policy priorities in Iraq and its stated priorities with regard to ethnic and religious minorities in Iraq, between what is being said here in Washington and what is being done on the ground. Flaws in U.S. policy that are self-evident on the ground are all too easily ignored here in Washington, where U.S. interests take precedence over human rights. Achieving policy changes will require us to mount an advocacy campaign that unfolds on multiple fronts and to push for those changes in the face of fierce opposition, knowing that in the end, it still may not be enough. And while the threats to our homeland, heritage, and future continue to grow, so does our ambition and our desire to meet them. The API will continue to press for changes to policies and systems that stand in the way of a future for Assyrians in their homeland. We're also working to advance Assyrian American priorities nationwide through our advocacy and to increase the visibility of our community. But this advocacy is broader than the work of the API alone, and we must draw strength from our vast network of partner organizations, volunteers, and supporters throughout the United States and the world. As we continue to scale up our own advocacy work, we'll keep collaborating within our network and cooperating with partner organizations who share our goals and principles. We are proud of what we have been able to achieve in the API short existence, but our vision for the organization continues to expand and there is work to be done. It's been a full year of progress, but the challenges before us remain vast and complex. They range from the threats to the survival in our homeland to the loss of identity and cultural heritage in the diaspora. All we can do is push forward. As I reflect on the last year, on the ups and downs, I'm reminded not only of what is at stake, but what true progress looks like. True progress takes time, takes the effort of many, takes putting the collective good above all, and comes with inevitable criticism and critique. As community organizers and activists, we must take the good with the bad, but we will not be discouraged and we will not be deterred. The task before us is just too important. In both our homeland and in the diaspora, Assyrians are grappling with an existential crisis. Sometimes it's hard to look at the obstacles before us and see any way forward, any way of overcoming them. And yet, we still believe we can. All of us do because we're here. This conference is, if even in a small way, a testament to our collective resilience. None of us knows what the future holds for Assyrians, but what we do know is that we cannot wait around for the solutions. We have to create the solutions. We have to be the solutions. This year's conference theme is a turning point and a new path forward. This moment, this snapshot and time in our history is a moment for reflection, a moment for us to learn from one another and to grow as a community. And it's a call to action that goes beyond this weekend. As my colleague Alexandra said earlier this week, this table was built for you, and there is a seat for you. I am hopeful that the panels and sessions taking place this weekend will provide you with the tools and resources you'll need to be better engaged and better prepared to tackle our current challenges. I'm so excited to meet you all and for forging new friendships and partnerships. Over the next 2 days, we'll break down the challenges and frustrations that are a very real part of what it means to be Assyrian today, but we'll focus the bulk of our energy on action, on community building, and generating solutions. Together, we will discuss the strategies and tools it will take to achieve the change we want to see in our community and define a new path forward. We're so glad that you're with us on this journey. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our conference chair, Stephanie Yousif. Thank you. Basima Rabba.
Thank you, Atour. It is indeed a special privilege and an honor to serve as this year's conference chair. Like Atour, I'd like to thank those who have served on any committees, task groups, or in any other capacity for your service to this conference. Putting together an event like this requires dedication, time, and hard work, and so it's really exciting to see it all come to life. I would also like to thank our sponsors who made this event possible. First, our presenting sponsor, the Assyrian National Council of Illinois. Many thanks to the ANCI Board of Directors for their support. Next, thank you to Mr. Ninos Turnion of Arcene Auto Body for his generosity and support. Mr. Turnion has been a longtime supporter. Anytime we have asked for assistance, the answer is always yes, so thank you, Mr. Turnion. We'd also like to thank Dr. John Michael of the Retina Institute of Illinois, who not only sponsored this event, but made it possible for a group of students to attend. We appreciate your continued support. And finally, many thanks to John Yonan of Humboldt Farms, Tony Kaligarakis of the Injury Lawyers of Illinois, Dr. Edison Ishaya of Full Smile Family Dentist, Tony Ishaya of Asset Recovery Solutions, Dr. Dennis Giliana, and Dr. Peter and Atour Sargon for their generous sponsorship, in addition to the Assyrian Studies Association and the Assyrian Chaldean Syriac International Youth Organization. As a community-funded organization, we rely on the support and generosity of our community members to continue our important work. Thank you again to all our sponsors who empower our team and enable our impact. Henry Ford once said, "Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress, but working together is success. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself." That's what this weekend is, a beginning. This weekend's conference will feature selected, timely, and critical sessions that address the challenges faced by Assyrians today, both in their ancestral lands and the diaspora. We're hopeful that the panels and conversations will provide you with the tools and resources you will need to be better engaged and better prepared to address our current challenges. And as you just heard from Atour, the list of challenges is endless. We are so privileged to welcome so many speakers from around the world, each of them with their own unique and innovative lenses. We are grateful that they've agreed to share their knowledge, experiences, and expertise with all of us here. We're excited to highlight stories of strength and resilience and hear from speakers who are doing the work and grappling with these various struggles. We encourage you to get involved and to take advantage of the many opportunities offered throughout the weekend. We're certain these opportunities will lead to connections with a wide network of activists and allies who are here to collaborate, share, and learn from one another. We're certain you will find this conference stimulating, rewarding, and meaningful. I'd like to provide a little bit of an overview of all that this conference has to offer over the next couple days. Our program is split into two parts. Today's to inform, tomorrow's for action. Today's program features an incredible speaker lineup from scholars and educators to community organizers and advocates. The speakers will bring knowledge and enlightening perspectives to key topics. You will have the opportunity to listen, learn, and ask questions and engage with these speakers. Later this evening, we're excited to welcome Diaspora in Bloom for the debut of their new exhibition, Take Two, Assyrian Film in Diaspora. This exhibition of video work brings together prominent movies, television, music videos, and contemporary video art from the Assyrian diaspora to reflect on the evolution of Assyrian society and popular culture. By contextualizing prominent works of Assyrian media created globally in one collection, the curation is able to explore the nature of time and memory and allow viewers to contemplate the future of Assyrian society, culture, and art. We also encourage you to take advantage of the Nobody's Listening virtual reality exhibition, which is running all day today. The room-scale interactive experience transports viewers to northern Iraq using a blend of 360-degree documentary filmmaking and the latest virtual reality technology. A unique branching narrative set in Kocho village, Sinjar, enables users to hear from a young Yazidi woman abducted and sexually enslaved by ISIS, from her brother who survives a massacre, and from an ISIS fighter who attacks the village. Breakout sessions are the highlight of tomorrow's program. These smaller group workshops, and roundtable discussions will allow attendees to meaningfully engage with guest speakers and other attendees on the various topics, focusing on advancing ideas and brainstorming solutions to unifying challenges. During these breakout sessions, attendees can choose to contribute to discussions or join as active listeners. This dynamic space will allow participants to come together to share knowledge and ideas and learn about ways to get involved and support community projects and initiatives. The situation we find ourselves in as Assyrians is rapidly evolving, and we face challenges ever more urgent and complex. Given the limited resources and increasing pressures, it is crucial that new knowledge and talent be deployed and developed as efficiently as possible. We can only do that together. The fact that you are here is a celebration of our collective resilience and dedication to forging connections despite the many obstacles we face. But this conference isn't really about what happens here, it's about what happens when you leave. We must be bold and innovative as we rise up to meet the challenges and opportunities before us. Our people's future depends on us, and that means that your participation is vital and has a huge impact. Thank you for choosing to be a part of this conference and our network. Whether this is the start of your journey or a stop along the way, we are so glad to have you. I look forward to working with all of you as we progress into the future. Thank you.